What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video on my channel Skotrix, and today as you can see we are back on NBA 2K21, but we're not actually on the game today. You can see we got this chart here, and I'm going to be ranking all of the defense badges on this chart for every position. I'm going to be breaking down how good they are for every position, what the badges do, what they do for specific positions, and how good they are compared to other badges. But if you guys don't know, really quickly, I did do a shooting badge breakdown just like this 2 days ago, and yesterday I did finishing, and also tomorrow I'll be doing playmaking, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video, and go check out my last 2 videos after this one. But without further ado, let's get going on this one right here. Alright, so first off we're going to start with box and go in alphabetical order for these defense badges. For box, first of all, I'm going to put this in the D category. I think this is an overrated badge. I don't think it helps that much at all. I think it's the worst rebounding badge in the game, even worse than Worm and obviously Rebound Chaser. That's one of the best badges. But I would not recommend getting this badge unless maybe you have a 30 defense badge lockdown center and you can spare enough to get it onto either bronze or silver. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend putting box on at all. It's not a very good badge, like I said, unless you have a 30 badge lock. But anyways, let's get going on to the next one here. That's brick wall. I'm gonna put this one at the A category right here. Last year I probably would put this one at S, but screens, at least so far in the game, don't seem to be as much of the meta. They're still the meta if you know how to use them properly, but they don't seem to be quite as powerful, which is good. I'm glad 2K did that, but it is still super powerful. It's still a super good badge, one of the best defensive badges for sure. If you're a big man that sets screens, you need brick wall. You need it. It's a necessity, so make sure you got it on. But next up we're going to chase down artist right here. Chase down artist I'm going to put in the B category right here, but this could go in the A category. This is a really good badge. If you have a decent block rating, I recommend putting chase down on as one of your first badges. Honestly, it helps you get chase down animations, obviously, which is actually really valuable, and this is an amazing badge regardless of your position, regardless of your build. As long as you have a decent block rating, I would say above 45 or 50, this badge will definitely help you out, and I recommend investing in it at least to bronze. If you can get it higher, get it higher, but I think it's a really good badge at bronze at least. And next up we have clamps. I'm going to put this in the S category. It's a really good badge, obviously, for perimeter defense, one of the best, if not the best. So I recommend putting clamps on as soon as you can get it. Even if you're a big man, you might want to invest in clamps if you can afford it with your badges. If not, don't worry about it. But I do think it's good for big men to put on, maybe just on bronze, and then for guards you want it on either gold or Hall of Fame. Whatever you can get, put it on. It's one of the best badges in the game without a doubt. Next we have defensive leader. This one goes all the way down to the E category. I don't really know any situation where you would use this. I mean, maybe in the rec or the Pro-Am 5v5, but in terms of park, it's not really that useful. If you guys don't know what this badge does, it gives +1 defense badge, or attribute, sorry, to all your teammates. So it's basically like floor general for defense, and it's really not that good of a badge. I don't recommend it, but you know, like I said, if you're playing 5v5 game modes, it might be alright. That's why I put it at E and not F. But next up we got an F tier badge, and that's going to be Heart Crusher. This is not a good badge. It's not worth the points that you'd have to invest to get it. Maybe if you're like a 30 badge lockdown center, again, you might want to put this one on, but again, I don't really think this is the best badge you could have. There's so many better badges, so I don't recommend this one really under any circumstances. But next up we have a good badge, and that's Interceptor. I'm putting this one in the A category. This is an amazing badge. I put it on just bronze on my play shot, and I noticed I was getting so many more passing lane steals. It's so nice, and the higher you get it, obviously the more you're going to get. It's so hard to get passing lane steals this year without Interceptor, so I recommend putting it on at least bronze for any build, any position, any build, whether it's defensive or not. As long as you have a few defense badges, I think you should invest at least one into getting Interceptor. Really good badge. And next up we have another really good badge, and that's Intimidator. This one obviously has to go into the S category. This is an amazing badge. I recommend it again for any build. I think everybody knows Intimidator is a necessity, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but obviously one of the best badges in the game. Next up we have Lightning Reflexes. F tier badge. 100% the worst defense badge in the game. Do not put on Lightning Reflexes under any circumstances. It literally does nothing. Literally nothing at all. It does nothing. Do not put this badge on. It's useless. Next up we have Moving Truck. I'm gonna put this into the D category. I don't recommend putting on Moving Truck unless maybe you're a big man with a lot of defense badges but yet really low strength, like maybe you pick the speed pie chart, or again if you're a 30 badge center and you think you can afford getting Moving Truck. But other than that, I don't recommend it. Useless for guards basically, and most big men build really do not need it to be able to stop people from backing them down. So Moving Truck is a pretty low tier badge, but you feel like it might help you out, you know, you could put it on. It's really between D and E. It's a pretty low tier badge. But next up we have Ball Pest. I'm putting this one in the E category. It's basically useless. All it does is make your opponents have a harder time moving around when you're guarding them when they do not have the ball. So you know, if you have a lockdown build and you find that you're guarding the off-ball player on offense a lot, maybe you could look into this badge, maybe you could give it a try, but I don't recommend it at all. Not a very good badge. I say avoid it, but you know, you could give it a try if you want to. But next up we have another good badge for guards, and that is Pick Dodger right here. I'm putting this one in the A category because even though I said screens are not as much of the meta anymore, that's compared to last year. Think about it, how much of the meta they were last year, and this year they're still probably the most meta thing to do on offense this year. Even though it's not quite as big as last year, screens are still huge, so you still need Pick Dodger if you're a guard. I recommend it on silver. I've also tried on Hall of Fame. It's okay, but I really recommend it on silver. I think it's good there, and you don't have to waste any more badge points on it if you put it to silver. Next up we have Pickpocket. I'm gonna put Pickpocket in the B category. I think Pickpocket's a lot better this year than it was last year. Obviously anybody who plays guards know that they messed with the steals a little bit. Even if you have Unpluckable, it's really hard to not get the ball stolen from you this year, and Pickpocket really helps you be on the other end and be the person who's getting those steals. So if you can afford it with your badges, I recommend maybe trying to get Pickpocket on, but there is also a lot of other good defensive badges for guards, so you might not be able to get it unless you have defense in your build, but still it is a good defense badge for guards. And next up we have Pogo Stick. Pogo Stick I'm going to put in the D category. Last year it was a lot better. This year they nerfed it a ton. It's nowhere near as good as it was last year. Mike Wang said that before the game would launch that they were going to nerf Pogo Stick a lot, and they did. It's not nearly as good, but it is still an okay badge. If you have enough to get Pogo Stick on Hall of Fame, it will help you out. Just don't expect the same results that you saw from it last year in 2K20. But next up we have Post Move Lockdown. I'm going to go ahead and put this one at the E category. I think if you're a big man, you would be better off getting either Box, Moving Truck, or Pogo Stick. They're all just slightly better than Post Move Lockdown. Just because Post Move Lockdown is such a specific badge, you're not even going to play against centers that need to use this badge, or that you need to use this badge to play against rather. Probably 8 times out of 10 you won't even be able to use this badge, you won't even need it. So I don't recommend wasting attributes on this, because even the centers that you will need this badge to guard, or that this badge would help guard, you don't actually need the badge. You can guard them just fine without it. But next up we have an amazing badge for big men, and that's Rebound Chaser. This is a S tier badge without a doubt. This is one of the best badges in the game. For big men, for wings, even for guards, Rebound Chaser is an amazing badge. Obviously all of you guys probably know what it does and how good it is, so I recommend putting that on if you're a big man, or if you're a wing, or maybe even if you're a guard and you can afford it. But next up we have another amazing badge for big men, and this is Rim Protector. I'm also going to put this in the S badge category, but it could go in the A. It's right in the middle. It's not quite as good as Rebound Chaser, sorry, in my opinion, but it is up there, so I'm going to put it in the S category. It is a good badge, and I recommend getting it for any big man build, or any build that has a high block. If you're a wing or whatever, if you have a high block, Rim Protector is an amazing badge, one of the best for big men, so try to get it on if you can. And now up next we got Tireless Defender. This one is going to be the first badge for the C category right here. This is a solid badge. It's right in the middle of the pack. Obviously it has its benefits. If you have a low overall build and you don't have the highest stamina, you don't want to waste all of your stamina on defense. You don't want to be stuck chasing the offensive player around and then have no stamina to do anything else, either for the rest of the defensive possession or the next possession on offense. So I recommend getting this badge if you can, but I know a lot of guards won't be able to because there's so many other good badges for guards. But if you can, get this badge. If not, you just got to try and work your hardest to not waste stamina on defense. It takes time, takes practice, but you'll get better at it as time goes on. And next up we have Trapper. Pretty useless badge in my opinion. It's not really good unless you have 2 people who are using it and you could trap people. It's really only good in the 5v5 game modes, either the Rec or the Pro-Am. Other than that, I see no purpose for it in 3v3 because you're not going to trap in 3v3 because you would leave somebody wide open. You'd have 1 defender guarding 2 offensive players. It makes no sense. So Trapper, basically useless. I don't want to say completely useless, but basically completely useless. So I don't recommend that really under any circumstances. And next up, Worm. I think this is one of the most underrated badges. I never see people rocking with Worm, but it's an amazing badge. I'm putting it in the C category. It could even go in the B category if I'm being honest, but I'm going to put it in the C category because this one's looking pretty dry so far. And one thing I will say about Worm is put it on bronze and just see the effect. Put it on bronze for 10, 15, 20 games in the park and just see the effect of Worm. I promise you it'll help you if you're a big man. I promise you it'll help you if you're a big man just on bronze. It'll help you more than box because you'll be able to box people out just fine without the box badge, but it's pretty hard to get around box outs without the Worm badge. So I really do recommend this one. I think it's one of the most underrated badges in the game. Put it on at bronze, try it out, and see what you think. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I upload daily NBA 2K21 content, and like I said, I uploaded a shooting and finishing best badges videos before this, and I'm uploading a playmaking best badges tomorrow, so make sure you'll be on the lookout for that. And also if y'all could go follow me on Twitch, I'll have the link in the description. I stream over there 4 or 5 times a week. But anyways, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Alright, peace.